we joined the military for many reasons. Because we need a college education, because we need a job, because we need health care. And then we joined the military, and they tell us that our enemies are poor people in caves in Afghanistan, or poor people in deserts of Iraq. We've been to those countries, and we know that our enemies are not other poor people abroad. Our enemies are the people that laid us off from our jobs, that denied us health care, that make it impossible to get an education. Our enemies are not in the poorest countries on the planet, but right here in the richest one. The occupation of Iraq and Afghanistan alone are costing over $700 million every single day. This is a crime every single day. While so many of us are hurting, well, I think all of us here and the vast
All right. So let's talk about refusing an order because I don't think you guys could have heard me. You can only hear me through this microphone. That's cool. Anyways, so I want to talk about refusing an order in the military. So when I was in the military, I refused an order. Now I'm saying this because I was listening to Michael Preisner and his speech from 2010, which you can find on World Star Hip Hop, talking about the wars are only for profit and the people that they're killing have nothing to do with us. And I've been saying that for a long time. We shouldn't be killing those people because they're not our enemies. They really aren't. But there's a movement uh, of veterans who are refusing orders. And this always happens in every army. But let me tell you about refusing an order and how dangerous it is to you, your friends, your family. We're talking about the U.S. military, all right? They have a contract, it's a written contract on you. Whenever you go into the military, you're under contract. Let's not be fooled. You are property, you are not free. So if anybody tells you that, you're in the military, you're free, you are the opposite of free. You're not imprisoned, but you are a captive, a captive until the military says that you're not, until that contract is up, or until they release you. So you have people go what's called AWOL when they refuse to go to war or refuse orders. They're like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm going AWOL. So you have that. And then, of course, when they catch them years later, you know, what happens is they go to jail. They get imprisoned. Now, for a regular soldier to refuse an order, it can get worse than that, especially during wartime. Now, I've never been to war. I say this all the time. I've never been to war. But what I do know is there is such thing as friendly fire. And that friendly fire ain't so much because the people who wear the same uniform as you do was on your side. It wasn't a mistake. They did it on purpose, Pat Tillman. They did it on purpose. Now we've seen case after case after case where friendly fire happens. It's not an accident. Soldiers knock each other off. It's war. But on a less violent note, if you refuse an order, what's first going to happen is it's called Article 15. You get Article 15. Now, Article 15 means a lot of things for one. It is the beginning of the punitive system that is within the U.S. military. So, Article 15 can be a slap on the wrist, like taking your driver's license, and/or incarcerating you for the rest of your life. These things happen to soldiers who refuse an order, and especially if it's something so egregious as not firing on someone else. Of course, like I said, there are stories of this. So I've never been to war, but there are stories of these things happening. Because like I said, it's war. You don't always agree with your commander because it's your life. But let's get an understanding of the chain of command. I'm not going to repeat what's the whole chain of command. I don't even remember it all. But let's just say that you are in E1. So I'll do from E1 to E5. So a non-commissioned officer starts at E5. Actually, it starts at E4. It starts at corporal. That's a non-commissioned officer, which is two stripes, and a sergeant is three. And then it goes from E5 all the way up to E8. But before that, you start off as, if you're enlisted, if you're an officer, you're a gold bar, which I think is a second Louis, second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain. So gold bar, silver bar, and then two silver bars, then a gold leaf, then a silver leaf, then it gets I get confused after that. Gold leaf, silver leaf, then a full bird, which is a colonel. I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm doing it anyway. Then uh, a 1 star all the way up to 5 star. Okay, so there that is. But in the beginning, if you're not enlisted, if you're enlisted, you start off as nothing at E1. So E1 to E3 is it's just nothing there. Then you got a little thing like this there, and which is E2. Then you have something that looks like this. That's E3, and then that's filled in. That's E4. That's E4. So there's your rank. There's your rank. This is in the Army. I don't know about any other rank in any other military. This is in the Army. So basically, you're you're a peon. But I know some E4s who've been in for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? They just the point system is low, so they did move on. But nonetheless, if you refuse an order, they Article 15. You know, they take you before your sergeant, who's probably an E7, uh, who is over your operation. That that sergeant will go ahead and present the matter to your captain, which is his captain or her captain. That captain, I'm sorry, will take it to their first sergeant, which is the sergeant over your barracks or whatever. Will take it to the first sergeant. That first sergeant will present it to the captain if they deem it's that serious. But refusing an order depends on what it is. It's probably that serious. They'll take it to your captain. Once they take it to your captain, the captain will read it. He'll, call you in, pretty much have kind of like a mock, present to you what the problem is. He's like a judge, kind of, present to you whatever the problem is and then hand you down a punishment. That's it. However, if you've been arrested, that's different. Then you have this whole process. If you go before a captain, that captain's going to put you in jail. So I've seen a lot of guys going to jail because I worked for the jail. So I've seen a lot of guys in there, and most of them were in. Most of the guys who were in jail where I worked, most of the guys who were in jail for writing bad checks. So I'm just breaking down the process because I think you're going to see more and more anti-war. You're going to see more and more people speaking up against the war, and you're going to see more and more soldiers who refuse to go and blow up people and get blown up by people. And I think it's going to be a thing. I think you're gonna start seeing it on the news because we have no reason to go and bomb Iraq. We don't. And the Iraqi people made it very, 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 very clear. They don't have nothing against us. They don't like the regime. They don't like who's in the position of power. That's who they don't like. They don't like, being invaded, their countries being invaded, all this, and they shouldn't like it. So you're going to hear a lot of anti-war. You're going to hear soldiers anti-war, and it's not a big deal now, but it's going to mean something, especially if Russia gets involved. Anyway, so after you get Article 15, then they hand you down your punishment, and they strip you of your rank. Depends on what it is. But if they strip you of your rank, of course, you have to start all over, and you might not have that to do. You might have just lost 10 years. Sometimes it gets as bad as you leaving the service. So if we concentrate on something not severe, where you're no longer in the service, and or where you are looked at, okay, let's just say you left the service and they got rid of you. For one, your GI Bill that you pay into that as soon as you get into the military. They take some of your money out of your check and then they match that money all the way up into a particular time, 3 to 4 years. And then they say, we'll give this money back to you, we'll match it, we'll double the money. So if it's $10,000, now you got 20, go to college. So you take your 20,000 and you go to college. It's your money. They matched it. GI Bill. Or yeah, GI Bill. It's under something else. I think 31 or 33. Anyway, I think Vogue Rehab is 33. Anyways, so they do that, right? But if you get kicked out of the military, especially, and it all depends on when. Let's just say you were only there for 60 days and you get kicked out. No GI Bill. Let's just say that you were in there for you were in there for 185 days. It's possible you get the GI Bill. This is if you were full time service. So if you were there 180 days or more, it's possible you can get the GI Bill. It's possible, not sure. But if you get kicked out, you get kicked out under a dishonorable. So you're dishonorably discharged. No GI Bill, no benefits, no military health care. Means you can't go to the military hospital and they take care of you. You get nothing, nada, zilch, zippo, goose egg from the military. You have no benefits. Hey, listen, it gets even worse. Your family, your children, because there's people who got families in there, are completely cut off from the military. You got to understand, if you go in the military, your family benefits from it. The health care your children are on, your the education your children can have from you being in the military. All that is stripped from you. I'm just letting you know how bad it is to refuse an order. If you refuse an order in the military, it gets bad. It gets real bad. And it doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone in your family, your brothers, your sister, anyone who can benefit from the military. You got to understand, if you go into the military, your family went into the military. That's it, because your family can benefit off of you going into the military, and actually they do. They can benefit from you going into the military. If you get disgraced and kicked out of the military, your family will not benefit in any shape, form, or fashion from the U.S. military. If you get an Article 15 and they kick you out and then they say you are dishonorably discharged, you get absolutely nothing. So if you were in there for 15 years and you refuse an order and it's that severe, and you get Article 15 from that, depends on who you refuse it from. You get Article 15 from that, then they court martial you, then they strip you completely of your rank. All your GI Bill money is gone. And if you're not careful, maybe your pension is gone. I don't know. 15 years is a long time. So this is why this is a thing, because we are about to go to war again. And I think that you're going to see soldiers pulling out of there. I think that you're going to see people who are going to blatantly look at their commander and say, we're not doing it. And when that happens, all hell is going to break out for that person. It's not like they're going to say, oh, we're not doing this. We're not shooting these people. We're not killing these jihadists or whoever it is, or Mujahideen, or whoever these people are that you telling us to go in the mountain and kill. We're not doing it. We know that they have children. We know that they have wives. We know that they, have brothers and cousins. We know that they have whole families who have absolutely nothing against us. We are fully aware of this. We're not going to go in there with an M16 and blow everybody apart. We're not doing it. We're not shooting Patriot missiles, Tomahawk missiles, and every other type. We're not doing it. There's no Abrams tank. There's no F-22 Raptor. We're not that we refuse to do it. We refuse. We know that they're militarized. Some of them are, but if they're not firing shots at us, we're not firing shots at them. I think you're about to see a whole bunch of this, because a lot of the American people, don't forget, America doesn't go to war by themselves. A lot of the people in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine realize that these wars are not fixing anything. They're not. These wars, well, I don't know most soldiers. I wasn't. My friends weren't. I didn't know any of them that were. Uh, we didn't work around any of them that were. So most of the soldiers are very infinite. Yeah, yeah. They catching on to the lie. Yeah, 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 yeah. So they're catching on to the lie, and I think we're about to see a lot of soldiers refuse. And this is gonna hurt. This is look. This is gonna hurt these. This is gonna hurt these soldiers in a lot of ways. And once this happens, once you get Article 15 and you get court-martialed and all that, then they heck they might even deem you a traitor. You got to understand the laws. Many soldiers are yes, that too, that too. So you have to realize these soldiers who are going over there and then coming back all beat up, and this is not what they signed up for. Now they know that they're soldiers. We know that we are part of a system that goes to war. However, every we're not drones. We think on our own. You know what I'm saying? And even me when I was in, I was ready to go to war, but I didn't know who I was fighting, and I didn't know why. I was ready to go to war because my best friend was deployed, and I didn't want him to be by himself. That was it. I figured if I died, my parents and my mom will get 50 G's, and my brothers and sisters will benefit off of it. And they can go to school or whatever. Well, they're seeing how the whole thing is just ridiculous. It's just, look, I'm not, I'm not in a hurry to see any dead anyone, let alone a defenseless child. I can't do it. I don't have the wherewithal to shoot at, you know, I gotta be shot at. I gotta be threatened. You got to come out and I know you're talking to me and you're about to do me harm before I pick up a M16 and start a $20,000 weapon that will rip you to shreds. You got to be serious for me to do that. You got to be really, really, really serious. Don't make no sense to go to war with fake narrative. It doesn't. And it doesn't. Look, just the way they're doing this whole thing is just a mess. They've been talking about going to war with Iran for a minute. And the president said that Obama was the one who was going to go to war with Iran for ratings. And turns out that now he's doing it. This impeached president is the one, calling the shots to go to war for rating. Look, it doesn't make me want to vote for you because you sent us over there to kill people. That doesn't make me say, oh, this is our president. He kicks ass. That doesn't, that makes me think that, it's the same old, same old. Oh, they don't have the Rothschild Bank and the Rothschilds. Shoo! The Jews. The Jews. The banking system. They're the ones who bankroll all this. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones who put up money for all this, and then it happens. It's just, we don't have no, those people aren't threatening our borders. They're not traveling over, they're not doing anything to us. They're not. And somebody's going to say, oh, well, you don't know. I don't know any Iranians who've ever done anything to me. My whole thing is, I just don't, North Korea and Iran don't have a general bank. Any surprise why they want war? Well, I was talking about that before. How they want to control the money and everything, and the Federal Reserves, and all that stuff being controlled by people are saying the Zionist Jews are controlling it. I don't know, but I know the Jews have a lot of influence on money. Everyone in the world knows that. Everybody knows they have a hand in all of these wars. Everybody is well aware of this. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Me myself, when I see one of them, I don't have hatred in my body for them, but I feel sorry for them. I do. I feel sorry for them. It's all the last pieces of the puzzle, right? For NWO takeover, huh? I feel sorry for anybody who is benefiting off of blood. I just do. I've been poor all my life, and I know I'm not benefiting off of blood. Not in the fact that I'm rich and all this. Do I live in America? Yeah, I'm not going to help that. So whatever system that's built here in America, yeah, we're benefiting off of it. But I'm not super wealthy or anything. As a matter of fact, when I was looking for jobs, I get fired all the time, and they would just tell me no. I'd go to an interview and they'd be like, no, no, we don't want you here. No, no. They made it very clear that they didn't want me in these workplaces. You know what I'm saying? I'm educated, suit and tie. I had a nice haircut, the whole nine. They made it very, very clear that they didn't want me working in these places. Even the black people, they made it. I mean, black people here, they let you know real quick. They only want certain people up in here. If you ain't like them, they're just like, no, Massa, we don't want you here because Massa will kick us all out, type of thing. Like these black people here are something else. Catch you later, dog. I gotta get. Okay, yeah, that's what's up. Take it easy. So these black people here are a mess. You're a future king. Don't worry, the Lord. Thank you. So they're a mess. They're very. They got that whole mentality of master and slave and all that. They got that right here, right now, today. You walk into some of these places, and ready to work, get it on. You don't follow under their little clicky, whatever. They'll go tell the boss, and the boss will have you fired real quick. It's happened over and over and over again. So, anyways, so back to the U.S. military. Like I was saying, it is hard for a soldier to refuse an order and not to receive really, really harsh punitive damages. And there are laws that if a soldier refuses an order, especially during wartime, then you can lose your life. Those laws are still in existence today. Just because it's 2020 doesn't mean that, laws that were written back in 1920 or, even 1820. 1776 bicentennial. Those laws are still in full effect. Very, 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 very much so. You can get hung for stealing a horse in Texas. I mean, there are laws that are still in effect right now today. If you are a soldier at wartime and you refuse an order, you can catch a bad one. And like I said, it's not just you, it's your family. So I'm saying all this to say I think we're going to see a large amount of men and women refusing to go to war. Uh, Maybe even get deployed. So you're going to see a lot of AWOL. Uh, AWOL is instant jail time. Let's just get that right. You are a fugitive because the military owns you. So if somebody is AWOL, don't come to my house. You know what I'm saying? For one, if you help somebody out who's AWOL, you're an accessory. Just like I said, it gets deep. The military wants what's theirs. You're an accessory. You'll be in trouble too. You're talking about federal crimes. These are not willy nilly city crimes. These are federal crimes. They last with you and your family forever. They just do. So, like I said, I think we're going to see a lot of this. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Once a person is court-martialed, they go to jail or whatever, and they get out, I think the American people should help them. I think there should be a GoFundMe. I think that there should be a large amount of American people who believe that these wars are just killing, just just killing innocent people, that we've been lied to and we're tired of being lied to. I think that there should be a support system for these soldiers who refuse to be deployed, and they're going to get punished. We know this. I think we should help them. You know, they're gonna have a hard time getting loans. They're gonna have a hard time being on their feet. It's gonna be bad for them. You know, you're gonna have employers who don't want to hire them. They're gonna have, their bank accounts are always gonna be watched and all this other stuff, and this is gonna be bad. But I think this we're gonna see more of these people now than we ever have. And I think that once they're punitive, I'm not telling you to harbor a fugitive. I'm telling you, once they serve their time, once whatever is handed down to them is handed down to them, and the military is no longer seeking to punish them. They have no federal, uh, 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 they're not being looked at the federal government as a wanted person. I think that they shouldn't be left out on the street. I just don't believe that. I think that there should be a support system for them to let them understand that we don't want you going over there and killing innocent people either. If there were people who definitely were trying to kill Americans, who made it very clear we're killing all Americans, every single one, absolutely knock their heads off. All you Americans, we're killing all of you. We don't care who you are, what you done. If that's what you hear come out of their mouth, which is not, that's not what you hear. You hear the leaders of Iran make it very clear we don't care. We're not trying to do anything to the American people. We have nothing against the American people. Heck, some of the things we do they really like. They don't like our women running around naked, but some of the things they do they like. They like some of our music. They like some of our cultures. They do because they copy them. They copy our music. They copy our culture. But the whole nakedness and the women doing what they want, they're not feeling none of that. They not. You can't run around in a bikini and a thong over there talk about respect me over there. You will. Look. There's a video just posted. A woman tried to run around, half naked, and they were about to jump her. The men, not the women. The men were about to jump her. And some years ago, there was a young lady or two of them who is one of these, Middle Eastern countries. They came over here, they got Americanized. They went over there, they went to the beach, and they had on bikinis. Not like the burqa and all that. They had on two pieces, and we're out there like, yeah, we're going to revolutionize. See, the European women got to your head. And these men saw them, and they came out to them just as nice as they want to, and they whipped out a sword, held them down, and cut both of their heads off, and left their bodies on the beach for anybody else who wanted to go ahead and try this. So there's some things they're just not having. They don't want their women running around looking crazy. They're not having that. No women's lib, women's movement, and all this. You know, Now I'm not. Look, some women's movement I'm for. I'm not gonna get too deep into that. Some women's movement I'm for. I'm for women making as much money as I do. If you're as good as me at my job and you're qualified, not because you're a woman, you're qualified, I think you should make as much money I do. I don't care. I don't care nothing about that. She makes as much money as me. Fine. She's just as educated as I am. She has just as much experience as I do. She makes as much money as I do. I'm fine with that. I have no issue. I do have issues with our women running around naked. I have deep issues with that. I don't like it at all. Not at all. I don't. I'm not a. I'm not a fan of women hitting men. Not a fan of that. Don't hit me. I'm not a fan of men hitting women. You know, I'm not a fan of the women telling lies and the police come and take the guy, automatically take the guy. Don't even listen to what he says. Just take the guy out of his house that he paid for. You know, he's arrested immediately. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not. We're not second class citizens. This is my house, but I have to leave because you told a lie. You started an argument. Now you told a lie and I have to leave. I lose my job because you told a lie. Nah, I'm not a fan of women screaming rape and it never happened to them and nothing happens to them. I'm a fan that if you scream rape and I can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that I didn't do it, you need to pay all of my lawyer fees and you're going to prison because I would go to prison if I did it. So I didn't do it. Everybody knows I didn't do it. It's clear that you're a lunatic. I think you should go to prison as long as I would have went. I would have got 10 years. I think you should go to jail for 10 years for telling that lie. I believe that. I believe that. I don't believe that women should do all these heinous crimes and then walk out of prison or do 5 seconds in prison and we should feel sorry. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't. You did it on purpose. You knew what you were doing and you played the system. So that's what I feel. Anyway, getting back to being a soldier. So, like I was saying, it's hard to refuse an order when you're in the military. And I was in 20 some odd years ago, and it's the same old same. It's just not going to change. That rank on your shoulder means something. And you can be outranked just by one bar. You can be, if an E3 told an E2 something, and that E2 said, go do it yourself, guess what? That E3 can go and write that E2 up. That E3 is going to take that. He's going to write an Article 15. That Article 15 is going to go before your captain, and that E2 is in trouble. That's just the way it is. Even though you're both young, you ain't been in for more than 2 years. It rank is what it is. But like I said, if there are soldiers who are refusing to fight in this war that's coming up, the American people should be behind them. I don't think nobody should be spitting in anybody's face. Uh, I don't think that nobody should be criticizing these soldiers who don't want to fight in this war. I don't think that there should be not one person that comes out of their mouth and calls them a traitor. I don't. I'm not for none of that. Don't come out the side of your face unless you're ready to kill a child. If you're ready to blow up children, then fine, enlist. Go ahead. If you're ready to dust off men, women, and children that you don't know and done nothing to you, if you want to see dead bodies everywhere and that's your thing, go ahead and enlist into the military. That's where you belong. But for those who have a conscience, for those who are sane and very aware that these militaries have nothing to do with people who are trying to harm us, I think the American people should help them. Not help them escape, not help them dodge the punitive damages that they created, because that's what's going to happen. I am not telling you to go out and encourage people to not do what their sergeants tell them to do, and then we're going to be their support system. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for those particularly who do not want to fight in the war, and you're still enlisted, you haven't ETS. You know what I'm saying? You're still in. You still have 2 3 years. Heck, some of you are brand new. You're E1s, and now a declaration of war has been declared. I don't know if that's true or not, but we know that there are tanks moving off of Fort Bragg and all this. We know that there are tanks going to be moving off of Fort Riley. We are well aware that deployment is a thing right now. We've already seen them on the railroad tracks. We know it's going to happen. Heck, I live next to an army base. We know it's going to happen. And I'm going to tell you, listen, the army base I live next to, and when I say I live next to, I mean I can I can walk to this curb over here and I can look at it. Heck, I can just stand outside and look at the buildings. There's a fence right there. I mean, I live next. For one, they started using different sources of energy. So now they're using the sun. So I'm just like, okay, that's cool. Uh, but I noticed that they colored all of their, OD green trucks and all that. They colored them all tan so they can go and fight in the desert and all this other stuff. And I noticed there's more activity. Usually you don't see too many soldiers, but you're seeing soldiers recently. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, yeah, I'm seeing more soldiers now than I ever did. And I've been living here for almost 10 years. I'm seeing more soldiers just being around. You know what I'm saying? So we already know that it's going to go down. We know that deployment is a thing. We know it's going to happen. We do. But like I said, for those who don't want to go to war, and I'm not saying those who are disobedient, I'm saying those who don't want to fight in a war, the American people should support them. Now, how that's going to happen, I don't know. And this is not anti-government speech. It's just humane speech. That's what I think it is. I think it's very humane not to want to kill another human, especially if they've done nothing to you. I think it's one of the worst. I think it is the worst crime that you can commit. Even the scriptures tell you, do not commit murder. It just don't do it. If it's a one on one and there's some issue, and guns get to flaring, okay, that's what happens. It happens every day. But to shoot an innocent person, just innocent, purposely blow them up to smithereens, and then come back talk about mission accomplished, that is not a mission accomplished. All you did was set the stage for whoever it is, family, whoever it is, nation, and other nations to come after you later. That's what you did. They know you. They know your face. They remember you. They know your American cross that you have on the side. You know what I'm saying? They see those soldiers. Look at them. They have that American cross on there, that red and white cross. They know. They know what the deal is. They know who you are. And their hatred is just building up and building up and building up for you. So that's just the way I feel. I think there should be more support for American people, for soldiers. And for those of you who hate soldiers, all I can tell you is when the real war happens, you better be ready because then you'll need soldiers. And don't think that it won't. When the real war, when it really comes down, when there's foot soldiers in America that shouldn't be here, and they have no love for any American, they don't care what race you are. You're American, they have discontent for you or discontempt for you. And they're after your neck. When that war happens, you're gonna wish you knew some soldiers. You had some soldier friends. Or you were a soldier. Or you are a soldier. You're gonna wish that somebody who knew tactical positions, how to fight, and had the, chutzpah, had the wherewithal and the knowledge, the physique on how to protect you. You're gonna wish that they were there because it's gonna be all bad. It's gonna be all bad. And you're gonna get snatched out of your comfort zone. Real quick, real quick. It's not gonna be a debate. It's heck, you might not even get a chance to say anything before they knock one of you off. And then point the gun right at you and dare you to resist. It's gonna be a whole different party. And it'll be nationwide. Okay? When that war happens, you're gonna wish you had some soldier friends. But other than that, and listen, that war is going to happen simply because of what we're doing now. You can't shed blood and think that somebody's not going to want to shed your blood. You can't do it. It's impossible. Anger and vengeance, those spirits are rampant. Those spirits are alive and well. You can't do it. You can't casually kill somebody's family. You can't do that. I'm just going to casually kill your whole village and then say mission accomplished and dare you to do something about it. Well, it's only a matter of a time before they mount an offense and stop playing defense. It's just only a matter of time. They'll just figure out how. Next thing you know, it's not just a couple of families you done knocked off, because you've been to so many countries and you kept knocking off these people in all of these countries, and eventually these countries are going to start. Listen, you're making countries who hated each other start to become friends. Is the enemy of the enemy my friend? That's what's going on. These countries are starting to look at each other and say, why are we fighting each other? They are. You're going to have neighboring countries that invade each other all the time. Iran and Iraq, you're going to have those countries. They're like, why are we're fighting over oil? Fine, here's some oil. Fine, here's some money. Okay, we're done. We're square. Now we got a bigger problem. And they're going to shake hands and be like, you know what? Let's get together. We gotta get together and figure this out. When they do, it's not going to be one country coming at us. It's going to be more than one. It's going to be more than two, more than 10. It's going to be every country that will. Every possible body, every abled soldier, every abled person. They're going to throw everything they have at us, knowing that the casualties will be extremely high and the success rate will be extremely low. They're not going to care. That's not what that's all about. Their mentality is you killed and slaughtered people constantly for the last how many years? 200 years. Just slaughtering. Their mentality is if we can just get to a few of you, we made our point. We can die happy. This is the desperation that you're looking at right now. And it's made it sound like, listen, and let's get this straight. I'm not talking about terrorism. I'm not talking about people running around with bombs. That's not what I'm talking about. So it's not even when you see terrorist attacks, it's one or two people who belong to a small organization who, have some type of device that it destroys a bunch of people with just killing one of them. No. No. You're not going to get that. You're going to get a bunch of people coming at you at once. Non-soldiers, housewives, tweens, kids who can barely even run. You're going to get the whole slew after you because that's the hatred that we're developing. That's the hatred we're developing. We go into these countries, you're getting people who just hate Americans. And if you don't believe that, travel abroad. And as soon as they see your visa or as soon as they see your passport, they're going to know that you are an American. Go ahead, try it. See what happens. You're going to get some countries who do not want you in their country. And you could be from that country. Your parents could have, migrated to America and you were born here. So you're a first generation, whatever it is, but you're American. And as soon as and listen, I know this because I experienced it from a black man. He was French. And me and a young lady, we went to France. We went under the English Channel. We were in England first. went to France. You know, she black just like me, dark skinned, beautiful woman. We went to France, got off the train, did the money shit. As soon as we got off the train, the people who exchanged the money, they were black too. They were Africans. I'm thinking I'm about to see a bunch of French people. You see a bunch of Asians and black people. You're just like, wait a minute, where am I? You know, exchange money. After we exchanged our money, right outside the train station, as soon as you walk out, is a McDonald's. I talked about this McDonald's before. So we go into McDonald's, and the guy that we speak to, this dude looks, I don't know what he was. Nonetheless, we're waiting in line, and I'm thinking, I hope he speaks English. So she's like, yeah, me too. So this is McDonald's though, right? So there's a black guy behind us. There's some people in front of us. The people, get their order. They step off to the side. You know the drill. We step up. I'm like, yeah, give me a chicken sandwich. Yada yada yada. He understood English because he said, "How can I help you?" So I was like, "Oh, we in there." Because I do not parlez-vous français. Okay. So I was like, we in there. So I spoke to him in English. He spoke to us back in English. Boom. We're exchanging, orders and everything. And then the black guy steps up to the counter. And he starts speaking to the French guy in French. And he's pointing at us. He's looking at us. And there's an argument that ensues right in front of us. And the argument is because the French guy heard us speak English. So he thinks because we're Americans that we got special treatment. And the guy was like, they were in line ahead of you. I know that's what he was saying, but he was saying it in his language because he was just like, what are you talking about? They were in line ahead of you. This French guy thought that he should have been served first, even though he came in last. They hate Americans. They think Americans are entitled. And we didn't do nothing entitled. We waited in line and just, it's nothing. But that's their mentality. You have a lot of countries that are like that. They think that you're entitled. They don't like you. They don't hate you and want to kill you, but they don't like you. They don't like you in their country. Heck, when you go look at the tourist sites, Notre Dame and Louvre and all that other stuff, you'll see a big sign that says tourists go home. They want you out of the country. Anyway, it's your boy Tune 202. Yeah, I think we should support our soldiers who do not want to fight. I think there's a way of doing, especially now with GoFundMe's. But like I said, these are the soldiers who have already received punitive damages and just do not want to kill, do not want to be involved in these wars anymore. Not soldiers who are anti-government or something like that, or trying to start some type of violent movement. We're not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to help those who very understand very much that if they go over there and they arm themselves, then killing somebody who has no interest in them. It's your boy Tonto 2. God loves you, so do I.